Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Rewind that. It's your girl, Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe. Hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Today, we're going to be talking about The Offer. It was a limited series, and we are doing a review and recap. Let me get my co-host up in here. Pretty girl loves trap content. Hey. How's it going?
Good. I'm really excited. I love this show, so I'm ready to dig in.
Yes. So, with that being said, you love the show. Can you please give me like a quick overview of, the show and what you thought about it and all that?
Sure. So
Hey,
it was.
Savannah. Sorry.
No, you're fine. So the show pretty much gave us the behind the scenes on what it took to create the Godfather movie. Like
Mhm.
it was a lot. It was a lot. Art imitating life, life imitating art. It was a whole lot going on. I was stressed out. I had no idea that this much can happen trying to make a movie. But
Right.
it was riveting. I mean, it pulled me in, honestly. And I know you're more of a mobster. Like I love Sopranos and stuff in terms of like,
Yeah.
but I wasn't. I've seen The Godfather a few times, but I know you really like into Godfather. So I
But
actually,
I love mafia movies and stuff. So
yeah,
you're right.
yeah. So I actually, after I finished this, I actually watched The Godfather as well again because I'm like, I need.
Really?
Yeah, I did. It was the whole 3 hours, girl. I was up
You
in
had
here.
time. That's why I
I
said
was
really, because
multitasking.
it's long.
Yeah, I was
Hey,
multitasking. I had to
Samara.
take breaks. Hey, Samira. I took a couple breaks. I was doing dishes and cooking dinner, but I was right there multitasking
Yes.
because I wanted to pull it all together because you know when you haven't seen a movie for a while, but the behind the scenes it allowed me to reconnect with the movie and it just
Yes.
makes you feel more connected. So that's why I wanted to watch it again to familiarize. Okay, dang, like I know what happened behind the scenes.
Mm,
So it was really good.
yeah.
It's a timepiece. I love timepieces. Of course, I love gangster stuff too. I
Yeah.
consider it trap content as well. So it's definitely it was a vibe. I definitely enjoyed the series. Hey Karen.
Yes. I'm so glad you got into it, girl. And that was really smart of you to go and watch the freaking movie. Because the thing about it, because that's a task, and I suggest you go watch the sequel. Let me tell you something. Have you ever heard that The Godfather Part 2 is like the best sequel ever made?
Yes,
You
I've
know
saw
how
all three.
sequel,
I've seen
huh?
all three, but I've seen all three, but it's been a while, so
Okay.
I couldn't remember it all. But I definitely wanted
Okay,
to
got you.
fit in the first one because the movie was based on the first one. But
Right.
from my understanding, from my remembrance, I think the number two may have been my favorite as well.
Yeah, number 2 is definitely my favorite. But I think as an adult, when I went back and watched the first one, it really made it harder for me to
Mhm.
choose. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like the second one is always so near and dear because you have for a very very long time my favorite actors were Robert De Niro and Al Pacino. So to have
Mhm.
them both in this the same movie was like, oh my gosh, of course I love this movie. But since then, yeah, they're still amongst my favorite actors, but I have more. So hey, Karen and Tamika and Monique. Sorry, guys, we were talking and we just getting into it. So I don't know if you guys watch this show, but if you've seen The Godfather, you could definitely participate in the chat because we're gonna be doing comparisons. We just really the movie, I'm not the movie. I'm sorry. Let me get it together. The series is really all about what went on behind the scenes and just in their lives of trying to make this freaking movie. And who knew the hell? I'm talking about almost literal hell that this man had to go through to get this movie together. And all he asked for was a freaking shot. And I think they kind of threw this one on him, like, okay, you want a shot? We're gonna throw you this one. I think is that what happened? Because the thing that I love about you right now is that, see, I've been watching it since it first came out. So I
Mhm.
gotta wait week to week. But you fresh. So it's
Yes,
like, so I
yes.
don't remember. So what I want to do is I want to talk about each character, and what they kind of brought to the whole experience and what they brought to the table. And oh wow, Monique, she did see it. She said it
Man,
was great. She gives it a 10. Yes,
awesome.
and I'm talking about this thing will have your emotions all over the place. It's inspiring. It got that gangster element up in there. We're gonna talk about that. But oh my gosh. Oh, Tamika, she said she watched it after I recommended it on Hidden
Oh,
Gems.
I
Wow,
remember that.
good. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. So, yes, this thing will have you emotional, it'll have you inspired. We're gonna talk about I'm gonna say everything I have to say when we get to all of the characters because it's a lot. So as you can see, that's the squad. We got Joe Colombo, Al Ruddy, you got Betty McCart up there, Bob Evans down here. That's the director, Francis Ford Coppola, and the author to the far right is Mario Puzo. So Karen Jones says she's in the middle of watching it. Okay, well, enjoy, honey. I hope you enjoy. So the first character that we're going to talk about obviously is Al Ruddy because this is based on his experience and
Mhm.
writing this movie. So I'm sorry, not right. Yeah, writing the movie, not writing it, creating it. So what did you think about him as a person and a producer?
Yeah, I like Ruddy. He overall seemed like a good guy, true to his word. Just a guy that he's in a crossroads in his life, I guess. He
Mm-hmm.
has this job he's really not passionate about, and I love, and I don't want to get off track, but everyone in this movie, the main characters, they all have a strong connection to movies and theater, and they all tie it in, to their upbringing or just their overall experience in life. And he was a person that had these great ideas, and he was able to pursue his dreams. And
Yeah.
he went through some roller coaster events. It costed him, some relationships. But he's definitely just a guy that can move and shake, and he can kind of communicate with all facets of people. So I definitely enjoyed him. He's one of my favorites.
Absolutely. I would add you just relentless I mean tremendous tenacity. Like if he wants something, he's going for it. And you listen, Monique, you took the words right out of my mouth because I had wrote down in my notes not afraid, right? But what I put was not afraid to fight for what he wants. And you put he was fearless, not afraid to go hard for what he wants and believe in. So we were so close with what we feel about this guy. And that's why he inspired me a lot. And then also Francis Coppola, very inspiring as well, just the way he does things. But we're gonna talk about him in a minute. But this guy right here, just amazing. Even when he went up to Bob Evans, and Bob Evans was like, he was basically saying, "Get out of here," you know what I'm saying? But then he kept pressing him, and then he kind of saw something in Al that he recognized that he's the same way himself. So I was like, "Go ahead now." That teaches you when you want something, you can't be afraid, and it takes a lot of boldness. And that's one thing that I'm trying to work towards is being bold because sometimes like I'm still not that bold. So got to work on that. So here, speaking of the man, Bob Evans. So can you give me like what you thought about Bob?
I love Bob. He grew. And I didn't never necessarily dislike him at first, but by maybe episode 7 or 8, I was just like, I really love him. Like I really grew to really enjoy him. I just
Mm-hmm.
love his accent and his swagger. He definitely have the gift of gab. Like he can talk
Yeah.
you into anything, and just his word flow. Like I just love the dialogue that they gave him. The speeches he would say in the boardroom. I was like, yes, yes, Evans, go ahead.
Yes.
But yes, I definitely enjoyed it. I was a little worried at first, towards the middle. I'm like, oh Lord, what route is he going to go?
Mm-hmm.
But he was definitely one of those characters I definitely was rooting for by the end of the series.
Yes, definitely by the end, because in the beginning he was doing the most, and we will talk
Yeah.
about that with all the people he did not want, and we're gonna touch on that. But I'll add that I like the fact that he was a genius, and when he went with his gut, you know what I'm saying? Even if it was risky, he wasn't afraid to take risk and all of that stuff. And a lot of time, it turned out by the end of the series, mostly maybe around what 8, 9 or something like that, we saw that most of what he would say would be the right decision or was what worked. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I liked about him. Like his stuff worked. He was definitely the GOAT. So let me see who else we got. Next, we cannot forget about the ladies. Oh, Betty McCart. Now, I feel like she was definitely like a kind of like a backbone. You know, she was a real good support system for Al. So what do you think?
Yes, he definitely needed her. I don't think he could have done half of the things he wanted to accomplish without her. She definitely was a pivotal piece of this movie being made. But, you know, she's fearless. She's coming into her own at this point when the movie is beginning. You know, she had a great little, I don't want to say like a monologue, but she had a great conversation. Oh my God, I'm losing it. But she was on the set and pretty much was telling the other castmate, like, hey, like, you know, all my life, you know, I was pretty much being controlled by a man on some sort. You know?
Yes.
And so, you know, she's like, now it's time. And she realized her worth, and I definitely appreciated that. But, you know, she was definitely, and I love her beginning scene. I believe it was the first scene where she kicked the other like assistant.
The other chick, yeah. See, that's why I'm glad you're here because, like I said, it's fresh in your head. I forgot about that. You here to jog my memory, girl. Yes.
So at the very beginning, I was like, yeah, I'm going to like her.
Yeah, I said, how's she just going to take this girl's job? And she lied too because he had hired that girl.
Exactly. Like it's a fine line between like being bold and being a BITC. You know what? So it's,
I said, oh. But hey, and like you were saying earlier with a lot of these characters, movies was always a part of their personal lives and everything, and they connected it. And that's what she always talked about. Me and my mom are always watching movies, you know, stuff like that. And so she's always been into it. And Monique says Betty was a G. She was more than a secretary. Absolutely.
Yes.
And the thing that I loved about her is that she knows talent, you know, and it's not just that she's a secretary. She knows talent. And through this whole thing, she was able to recognize her dream, you know, and like you said, pretty girl, her worth, you know, and she refuses to be stepped on or stepped over in this so-called manly world, you know. So, hey, Kenna, what's up? Never seen the show or movie, but supporting Salute K, pretty girl in chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. But you saw Godfather, right? Hopefully, because we're going to be talking about some of that. It's all mixed up in here. So next we're going to move on to this guy right here. I only have one thing to say, so I'm going to let you say what you got to say real quick, but I have pretty much one word that I feel describes. This is Mario Puzo, the author of the novel, The Godfather, whose movie, the movie was adapted from his book. So go ahead, pretty girl.
Yes. Well, in the beginning of the series, he's pretty much a guy he's an artist and he's down on his luck, you know, financially things are piling up, you know, he owes a lot of debts, but he has immense talent and skill. And you know, his wife, also another woman, you know, another backbone, you know, motivating him and giving him words of encouragement. But you know, he kind of, I'm not sure if you're familiar. I'm not like a huge Kendrick Lamar fan, like in terms of like a stan, but he kind of gives me Kendrick Lamar vibes where he, you know, he knows about the life, but he's not of the life. You know,
okay, got you.
He said, you know, he mentioned, you know, a few times that he spent his whole life, you know, trying to escape the gangsters and being in trouble with them. And so he, you know, has a perfect eye and understanding of that world without being in that world.
Right, which is why he was able to write the story. And the crazy thing is that his wife told him, like, you need to write about it. Like, because he didn't want to, right? He wants to write about whatever the heck he was writing about. And then we see that he had trouble with loan sharks and all this stuff. I'm like, sheesh, it's already getting real, you know? And so when he said he got bars, he said, Candace said he got bars? In that book he did. So it's like his wife was saying, listen, you just gonna have to write about the gangster. Like that's what she said, you know this, like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like you don't know. Just tell the story. And when he did, it became a national bestseller. And I mean, and then that's when it gets the attention of Frank Sinatra, who then makes it, then we get attention from the mob because of Frank Sinatra. So we're gonna get to that. We're gonna put a pin in that real quick, but we gotta finish moving. We gotta finish going through our little characters. We got one more character, that holds this whole thing together. And for me, my one word for Mario Puzo is teddy bear.
Oh, that is so accurate.
Yeah, he just seemed like a sweet, loving guy. Remember every little thing he want. Oh, let me get in. I want a hug. I want, it just seems so freaking sweet. And I don't know if that's how he really was in real life, but I doubt if they would have him, put him as that type of person if that wasn't him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even when you see pictures of him, like the real life guy, he looks like he's a pleasant person.
The casting, like, I'm nosy, so when I get intrigued with something, I start looking up the real people.
Yeah,
like, the casting was so on par, like
so good.
They did an awesome job with the casting.
Yes, they really did. Hey, Brillo, what's happening? So Tamika says that his wife put him on the right track. She sure did. And Monique Johnson said Mario was real in his writing with a bad eating habit. Yep. And they were supposed to be, his wife gave instructions like, don't let him eat, what was it, pasta or something? And he had a big, it may not have been pasta, but she told him not to eat certain things. And he had a big old bowl floating in the pool with the.
That was like one of my favorite scenes. I'm like, no, he ain't. And I think he was smoking a cigar too. I'm like, bro.
Yes. I said, you supposed to be, he was living it up. He kind of, and the crazy thing is he wrote the book, but when it came time to help out writing the script, he couldn't get it together. And he gave them like this really short turnaround time, right? And he just couldn't do nothing. And then that's when Francis had to step in. And speaking of, this is the actor that played Francis Ford Coppola, the director. And man, oh man, I mean, you could talk about this guy. To me, this is a genius right here. Yes. So go ahead, pretty girl. I'll let you, and I'll say what I have to say.
He was I don't want to say a complex man, but he was very specific. He was an artist. They know what they want, how they want it. I don't want to go too far ahead, but there were scenes where, he was debating with certain people. Like,
you could go.
I love where him and the lighting guy would go back and forth.
Yes.
Because, it was budget issues. And he was like, no, the lighting was, and watching the movie again today, I'm like, oh my God, the lighting
was kind of dark, right?
In the movie. Just a lot of the cinematography. So I just love, he just really, he was just really a unique guy. And I watched the behind the scenes of each little episode when they gave like little tidbits, and him and Mario, well, the actor, the two actors actually became roommates while they was filming.
Oh, wow.
Because I guess when it was on set, I believe, I can't remember which one, but one couldn't find a place to live. So they ended up being roommates. So they was pretty much telling like, hey, this is kind of why you see such great chemistry, because we were living together in real life for a little bit.
So you mean between Mario and
the actor who played
Francis?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, they really were something. There was a picture, sometimes I can't get all the pictures, but there was a picture of both of them. And I really was like, man, I want to get this picture, but oh, well, it's okay. But this man right here, one thing he was another person that inspired me because like you said, he's such an artist. He knows exactly what the heck he wants. Monique said that she loves him. He is an artist and sensitive about his ish. Yes, absolutely. He's very sensitive. And no, I want Marlon. No, that wasn't him. Mario wanted Marlon. He wanted Al. And he was not trying to move. I want Al. No, I want Sicily. It's not gonna come out. They're messing up my movie. Like he was and the thing about it is he wasn't like a jerk.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's just that no, this is how I want it. And they're already giving them so much hell about it, and it's like, you guys are trying to make this fail almost, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really felt bad for him, because I'm telling you, I feel like this had to be such a horrible experience for these people.
Yes. Yes.
They're such hell. We about to talk about all the hell, guys, because he is our last little character kind of breakdown, or just whatever,
Yes.
going through what these people bring to the table, because it's about to go down with this. But another thing that I want to say about Francis real quick is that I love how he takes the flaws in a scene and he makes it work.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yo, this guy, what was that scene? There's the real one right there.
Mm-hmm.
So we go from, you see, they did a good job.
Yes.
Superb
casting.
Yeah. So there was a scene where, what was it that he did that was so good? And I was like, this guy is amazing. Oh, it was the Luca Brasi scene where he just could not freaking get it. And the guy was like, all
that headspace.
Hell, hi, Don. Yeah, like, just say this. What the heck is wrong with you, right? So what he did was he turned it into, I guess they filmed him rehearsing it, and they actually put it in the film. And I just watched an interview with Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Talia Shire, or James Caan, all of and who else? Who's the other one? The one that played Tom, Robert Duvall. Is it Duvall? I think it's Duvall. So he I think it's Duvall. So they were all talking about it, and they even brought that up because Talia was there because she was bigging her brother up. That's another little thing I wanted to talk about that was surprising to me, was that Talia is his sister, and I did not freaking know that. The one that plays Connie.
Oh,
she's Francis's sister.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh shoot. So she was bigging him up, like, I think he's the greatest of all time, this and that. So, but they did talk about that scene, how he just used it and recorded the guy with the whole just practicing to see the Don. Like, this is a real nervousness. This big guy is very nervous to see Don Corleone.
Like, you caught bodies and you
yeah,
you can't say a line.
Yes, he is a whole hitman, okay? So anyway, that was that. So now we're gonna go to, like I said, I just love how he turns the flaws into everything, whatever. Mm-hmm. So now we're gonna go into the surprising. No. So like I said, all the crazy stuff that happened in this film, guys. I mean, during the pre-filming and the filming. So I wanted to know from you, pretty girl, was there anything that took place that you wanted to address, or something that interests you, or maybe caught you by surprise?
There was a lot of little tidbits. One of my favorite parts was the cast dinner, when the cast was formed and they ended up playing their roles. At first, I was just like, not saying I was slow or anything, but I guess me as a viewer, as well as Ruddy and I think it was Ruddy and Francis was at the dinner table too. They was like realizing, like, oh, they're getting into character. Like, this is cool. Like, you just felt the magic in between the characters. Like, I really loved that scene.
Yes, you're so right. That was a great scene, and it was almost like they didn't break character. Like,
exactly.
I was like, what are y'all doing? It was kind of weird. It was a little weird, but it was very cool.
It worked. Yeah.
Yeah. So I liked it because they kind of got a feel of the chemistry and how everybody was going to, act together and stuff like that. Now, Brillo said, is this something I need to watch? Yes. You definitely do. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is the surprising moments. All right. So the first surprising moment, it was something that I already mentioned, and it was the fact that I didn't know that Frank Sinatra was a gangster. Like, really?
I had no clue. He was about that life.
Yeah, I'm like, what is going on here? Why are you so sad? And I almost feel like it was like he thought too highly of himself, because I don't think anybody was thinking about you, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you made it about yourself and he wasn't even thinking about you.
Yeah. It's like, you know how people are. The egos get in the way.
Yeah, so I was just like, okay, like he was sending he sent the funeral wreath to Joe Colombo, and you know that's like, you know,
Yeah.
mafia, so that's a
Mhm.
message, like, and he's like, all right, we're gonna have to deal with this. And I'm like, who the heck is he that he can send somebody somebody from the five families of all folks a funeral wreath as if you're threatening him?
Oh.
But you see that after a while, see Joe Colombo, he was like, all right. But after a while, you saw he was getting on his nerves. Like, he's like, you know what? F Sinatra. Remember, he started to say that?
Yeah.
F Sinatra. Like, who the heck
Who is he? Who is this guy?
But before that whole thing, remember they sent that hitman after Al Ruddy, and they blew the car. I mean, they like,
Shot
what did he do?
I know
Took
they
a big
shot
old
up.
shotgun.
Yeah.
And shot the windows out. I said, oh my gosh. So then Al had to go meet up with one of the gangster representatives, mafia representatives, and he was talking to him, and he's saying, you know, if that was just a warning shot, because that dude doesn't miss. What was it? Do you remember his name? I keep forgetting his name. It wasn't an Italian name. I think he might have been, I don't know if he was Wayne. Was it Wayne? Wayne something. It's all right. So Monique says, yes, Frank got ties with the mob. I mean, and you know, he's held so high, right? They hold him in such high esteem.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And Tamika says that I heard stories about Frank Sinatra, but I didn't know his involvement with this. Yep, me too, girl. He was doing the most. Yes, he was. I didn't know that it was like that.
I learned something new today.
Huh?
I learned something new this week when I was watching. Oh, this okay.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, so you know this is when Al Ruddy had to get involved, and that's when he tried to go meet and sit down with Joe Colombo because of all of these shenanigans. And like, this man, and this is what we're talking about Al. He fights for what he wants, and he's like, what the heck? What do we need to do? You know what I'm saying? And Joe kind of just was like, take out any word that, you know, that says mafia, anything that in the script that says mafia, take it out, and I'll let you do the movie. Because he actually invited him to come down and read the script. After a while, Joe was like, man, I ain't trying to read no daggone
that
script.
That was one of my favorites. Like, they're all passing. You read it, no, you read it, no, you read it. Like, oh, come on now.
You came all the way down there knowing you was not going to read a script.
Exactly.
But I guess he kind of felt like when he came down there and he saw that Al wasn't playing, you know what I'm saying? So I think he respected that about him. Like, all right, I see this guy is really a stand-up dude. So if he's telling me that he's gonna take it out, then I believe him. Because he was about to go through all that trouble to you know. Monique said that Joe could not read. Okay,
I was thinking that too. Like, none of them could probably read. Yes. They probably all dropped out. 3rd grade education, polo thing.
Yes, listen, I wish I had a picture of Caesar. Did you like Caesar? Yes. I liked him.
I really liked him. I thought it was him and Betty was going to connect, but you know.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling that she was like, she thought he was cute and stuff, but she was too scared to get involved. Like, I know, daggone well, we ain't gonna do that. Especially when that guy tried to rob her and he put the beats on him. She got scared. She was like, this is not the life for me. That guy came out of nowhere, though.
I know. I probably would have been a little nervous, but I would have, like, you know, I would have did the old, like, you know, dance with distress. Oh my God, you saved my life.
Yeah.
That's what I probably would have did. I'm a mess. Sorry, y'all. I'm toxic.
No, but shoot, that's kind of, it'd be like, ooh,
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and Ruddy had some men on the payroll, and that's the thing, because I was trying, look, because of so much of the stuff that was going on, guys, we're gonna have a facts versus fiction section, right? A little later. And I was trying, but I didn't have a lot of time because we would have been here forever trying to pick apart this series to see what was what, you know, what was dramatized, what wasn't. But I picked out I feel like the most interesting stuff. Now, that right there, what Monique just said, I don't know if that is true. Yeah. But that's what they had in the series. Yeah. And if it's true, that's very, very interesting. But I don't think they will ever admit it. I
No.
don't think. Yeah, especially remember how they did like a separate premiere for all the mobsters.
I love that. That was one of my other
Yeah,
favorites. I love that
yeah.
movie.
So I don't know if that was something that really happened, but it's like, would they tell us that? You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Maybe now they would. Maybe now they would because
I don't know if the show was that good. I just felt like everything was real.
Yeah.
I know I'm naive, but I'm like, I believe everything you guys are telling me. You're just so good.
Yeah, listen, there was that's what I'm saying. I'm jumping, but I want to talk about that in the fact versus fiction. That's why I don't know if I'm bringing it up yet.
Okay.
But there was certain stuff that happened. I was like, no, I got to see if this is real.
Because
I was like, because I'm blown away. No, that did not happen. I was up in here like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna say it, and we're gonna find out later. I'm gonna let you know if it was fact or fiction.
Okay.
When they said that Gianni, is it Gianni Russo? Let me make sure I got his name right. Gianni Russo, the one that played Connie's husband, Carlo. When they said that he really hit her, I was like, no, he did not. No, he did not.
I feel like, I believe that too. I don't know, maybe it's the writing, but I believed everything.
I was like, nope. And that's the thing. I was believing it, but I was in shock. And I said, no, I have to see it. And then the aftermath, how they had him really beating him up on set. I was like, no, I have to find out if this is real. So we are definitely I'm gonna give y'all the results at the end. Y'all gotta wait for the results like Maury.
Now that you mentioned that, I'm like, well, that probably could be a reach, but I'm just all like with my popcorn, like taking it all.
Yes, that's they definitely gave us that popcorn watch. Like, oh my gosh, this is too good. My son was looking at me like, what's going on? So the next one is that I already mentioned this, that Talia Shire is Francis Coppola's sister. And guess what? Upon doing further research, I found out that these are Nicolas Cage's aunt and uncle. I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
Wow, are you serious?
Yes. So she is his aunt and Francis Coppola is his uncle. Wow. I was like, oh shoot, that's their brother, their brother. Nicolas Cage's father. I can't.
I know. I feel like the father, like, oh my God, I'm about to sweat. Now if I jump up and run to the back somewhere, don't judge.
Miss K got the results. Now Maurice is sorry. Yep. Be ready to retire. I got the results. Yeah, I got the way in the anticipation.
I started taking it back and doing the butterfly. You know how they be dancing. I'm like, y'all ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. You brought yourself on TV and now you want to do all that. Go sit down some daggone well. So, okay, here's one. Surprising moment. Sickening moment.
Oh, gosh.
Bob Evans did not want Marlon Brando. I mean, are you on crack? I couldn't freaking believe that. Can you tell me what you thought about that?
I did not believe it because I just feel like so much goes on behind the scenes with these actors and actresses and drama. You know how it is when you're quote unquote hard to work with. Mm-hmm. You kind of get blackballed. We kind of see that now in this day and age where people are deemed hard to work with. So I can believe it. But it's still like you would have made a huge mistake if you didn't go along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, but that's what I mean. I totally bought what they were saying. I knew I felt like I knew that was true, but I'm saying like I can't believe, like you said, this is the mistake that y'all was about to make, a grave error.
And Al. I know we'll talk about that.
Huh?
I said and Al.
Yep, that's right. That's next. So you could go right on into that one, right on into it.
They were really not wanting Al Pacino in this movie. He was, from my recollection, he was a theater actor. Mm-hmm. He didn't have a lot of quote unquote clout. And his, he had everybody pretty much against him. But Francis really wanted Al in his movie. And another thing, as an artist, you know what you want. You have your vision, and you need to do whatever you need to do to get this person. And it was they was like pulling teeth trying to get Al approved, by the executives. And I'm like, Al Pacino, are you guys serious? But of course, everybody comes from someplace. Of course, he's not, out, in the delivery room. Hey, I'm Al Pacino. So of course, you have to grow into who you are. But it's still like daunting. Like, I really was questioning Al Pacino at one point. Like, it's so crazy.
Isn't that amazing? That's freaking amazing. And Monique says Bob was tweaking. He didn't know acting. Exactly. Like, what the heck? And the crazy thing about it is that Bob, it's like he knows movies, but like you say, Monique, he didn't know acting talent. See, he knows exactly what you need to do for a movie and stuff like that. But when it comes to the actors, he was just off. You didn't want Marlon Brando. Because he's too, I understand that. He was too difficult to work with.
Yeah.
But listen, they did that filming and he put shoe polish in his hair. He put the tissues in his, he was ready. And the only reason why he took the job is because he wanted to piss off
Yep.
He wanted to piss off Paramount or one of them at Paramount.
I love the pettiness of it all.
On the McNulty vibe, like, what are you doing? You really seriously petty, yo. And I was like, wow, this is insane. Like, y'all are flooring me with this one. And like you were saying with Al Pacino, I mean, he was Bob was ready to shut stuff down. Like, I don't care, fire this one, fire that one. We're not using Al. He was pissed off when he saw it. It was to the point where what did Al he said we're not using Al Pacino, but what did Al Ruddy have to do? He did something. He went over his head to Blue Dorn, right? But I don't remember.
He did a few different things. They were hiding, the little reels, of Al. I mean, everybody was pulling different, pieces of it. Even Francis, he pushed up the restaurant scene so they could have that on film, so they could be able to, not shop, but kind of like show
his talent.
This is the guy, You know why?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. But that's what I can remember in terms of the strings being pulled.
You were jogging my memory. Thank you. See, and Monique said he went over Bob's head. Exactly. But I'm gonna tell you exactly what he did. What you just said, where he pushed up the restaurant scene, because what he saw was the him just coming out of the Macy's or something like that with the gifts, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, what? Like, how the heck is this? This is supposed to be the next Don? Like, no, I'm not believing this at all, So he had to push up the restaurant scene so he could show that Al Capone could also, like, his range, and he can get gangster. And remember when I told you how Francis, he just takes those moments and everything. Remember when they were going in the bathroom and he made the other guy like push the gun further up, so that they could probably capture a real moment where he probably is like, where the heck is this freaking gun? So it's gonna like, it's gonna enhance like his that fear and that anxiety that he had. Like, where the frick is the gun? So he wanted to capture a real moment in his acting moment. Right? So I'm telling you, Francis, I didn't know you was that. Obviously, you got to be that good because you did Godfather. Yeah. But I'm just saying, the way everything played out, we just saw how it went. I was like, wow, this is awesome. So
you know what to use and what not to use. Like,
right. And what happened was they took that reel of the restaurant scene and Al Ruddy went over Bob's head and showed it to Blue Dorn, who is his boss. And Blue Dorn was like, Blue Dorn was stuck to the screen. Like, no, we have to have Bob. Exactly. I mean, we have to have Al Capone. And Ruddy, what's his name? Bob was so pissed. He wanted nothing to do with Al. But that was the promise that, he kept promising. Al Ruddy kept promising Francis, I'm going to get you Al Pacino. Don't worry. Because he was kind of through with the film if he couldn't have Al Pacino. Like, I'm just through with this.
And I can understand it. I'm not a filmmaker, but of course, we all have our passions. And when you can't get that one thing right, you just don't want to do the project at all.
Yeah. Your vision. So now we have the last one, and I don't have the freaking picture, and I wish I was going to get it, and I forgot, man. Luca Brasi. We spoke about this already.
Yes.
Oh, no, we didn't speak about how he got the part. He was a real life gangster, guys. That was a surprising moment to me, to find out that he was a real life gangster that they used for this part. Now, I don't know how accurate that whole scenario is, like how that all went down, where he was supposed to be Joe Colombo's guy. But when I looked it up, he was really a gangster for real.
Jesus.
He was in that life. He was in that life, okay? And I just say, I'm telling you, they kept flooring me in this series. I was like, wow. So, damn, there goes the stereotype of manly men. These guys in 70s, 80s more catty than basketball wives. Yes. That's a good one, Kenna.
When I was watching The Godfather, it just, they can really like plan to kill you and just kiss you on the cheek.
Yeah.
And you do that in 5 seconds. Like, it's just like, y'all real cutthroat. Like, it takes a lot.
So speaking of catty, Kenna, let me add to that. So, there's this dude. Let me find him real quick for y'all. His name is Lapidus. Barry Lapidus. All right, and we're gonna talk about him a little more. It's not that much we gotta say, but we're gonna talk about him a little more. So, I think he was the one that was behind having a few dudes on set that was watching everything and coming back and reporting and taking the they were taking the what did they call it, they called it something. It was some type of film jargon, and they were taking these things that they didn't add the lighting to them or something like that, like they weren't done yet, so they were taking it to Blue Dawn. And Blue Dawn was like, no, like what's going on? I don't want this. This is Blue Dawn right here, guys. I don't want this.
Like, I meant to check. I swear he played a villain in a movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say something. The reason why I have his picture is because I want to say that I enjoyed him in this, because he's normally like a villain. I can't freaking stand him most of the time, but I really enjoyed him in this. I enjoyed him. He was he was very snippy and stuff, but he was enjoyable, and he wasn't like a jerk like Lapidus.
Yeah, he was likable. Yes.
So this guy had his own little crew coming through and trying to just sabotage the crap out of everything, because he low-key wanted to take Bob Evans' spot. Okay. Monique said that he got on my nerves until the end. Then he became cool. Blue had a sweet spot for Betty. Yes, Blue Dawn had a sweet spot for Betty. That was cute too. So now we're gonna move that where we at. So that was funny. So now we're gonna go to just before we get to the results. We're gonna talk a little bit about the finale, guys. So the finale was actually, let me share this with you real quick first. Hold on a second. I don't think I'm doing the right thing. I think I'm supposed to go through the fiction stuff first. Do you want to do that first? You guys want the results first, or you want to talk? We're gonna do like maybe 5 points about the finale. Which one you want first?
I don't know. The results got me nervous. No commercial break.
Okay, let's do the. I think we'll do the results.
Okay. I'm like, don't get all hype. Like, why? Okay.
Fact versus fiction. Oh, there goes a real Al. Okie dokie. So, the Frank Sinatra and Mario confrontation in the restaurant. Fact versus fiction. Now, what do you think?
Well, I'm cheating a little bit because they mentioned it in one of the after the episode, so it was actually fact.
Yeah, yes, fact. Yeah. Now, the only thing is, it was a tiny bit different. We see how Mario kind of like got that fork to his throat real quick or something like that. I was actually watching a real look. Tamika said results, please. I was watching a real interview, and I think it was of Bob Evans, and he was talking about how he was explaining the fight, and he was saying that I think that somebody got between them, and he tried to jump over the person talking about Mario to get to Sinatra. So I'm like, yo, they really was out here about to bang.
Wow.
What is going on? See, that's what I like about my little teddy bear though.
I was about to say the teddy bear that got turned up.
Yeah, because see, that's the thing. He been around it, so he's not new, and he he probably had to learn how to defend himself or something. Like, I can't be fearful. I grew up around this stuff,
Exactly.
But here's the thing that in the interview that I think Bob was saying, he said that it really broke his heart. Like when he walked, was it Bob? It was somebody, one of these guys. It might have been Al. I don't remember who it was. One of the guys was telling the story that was there, and he said that it really hurt Mario to be treated like that, or for Sinatra to respond like that, because he's like, you got to understand, growing up, my mom had 2 pictures in the house, the Pope and Frank Sinatra. So to meet Frank Sinatra was like, it was a big deal. And then to freaking, you coming at me like that. And that's why I said I like my teddy bear, because it's like, listen, I could be a fan of you, but if you try to, then I'm just going to have to, I forget, you hurt my feelings, but I'm going to have to show you a little different side. And then I'm going to probably, after that, I'm going to be pissed off and cry about it, because I was really, really a fan of you. So I get it, Teddy.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, like they always say, the saying, you never meet your heroes because they will disappoint you.
Yes. Isn't that sad though?
I know.
So the next one, guys, is James Caan, right? Did he really beat up Gianni Russo on set? Did he really beat him up? So here's the story in the offer. We heard the girl, Talia, I'm sorry, I don't say the girl. Talia told Betty that she believes that Russo really hit her. So Betty goes to tell Frank, and remember, this is Frank's sister, so he's pissed off. He want to go talk to him, whatever. So then they said, no, just calm down. We're gonna work it out. So him and Al come together. Did I just hear somebody yell? Hold on, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Yes, Monique, Frank was a jerk.
Yeah, thank you, pretty girl. I was freaking girl over here yelling. So where was I? She went and told Al. Told Al. Yeah. So Al is like, listen, we're gonna be creative, right? So long story short, they had James Caan, who played Sonny, really go in on freaking on Russo. Okay, really go in. And I was like, I had to find out if this was true, guys. So let me just, here's the results. The results, ready? The results are that this is a fact. Now, it's a little shaky though. It's a little sprinkled fiction involved. So the part where he hit Connie, or the real Talia, that's not real. But they're saying that there was some animosity between Russo and James Caan in real life or off the set. So when he was biting him, kicking him, lifting him up, remember that lift? Hold on, let me get this freaking. We gotta do what we gotta do here. We got remember he kicked him and he lifted up his body. Yo, the dude, the actor, Gianni Russo, he said in an interview that they didn't rehearse none of that stuff. Even to the point where Sonny was biting. Remember, Sonny was biting his fingers. Remember, he was holding on to the thing, and Sonny was biting him. He said that was not rehearsed.
Wow.
I was like, yo, this is crazy. So one article that I read said that there was something that was said in a bar to a real life gangster that got James said a joke, and it got Gianni in trouble. And this is how they had this, this little animosity, whatever. So I don't know. There's too many stories. And then when you get to James, and when you ask James Caan about it, he denies having any animosity. But in all of Russo's interviews, it's, yes, he beat the freaking crap out of me, and we never rehearsed none of that stuff.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah. Oh, so hold on, because this is what I wanted to show you guys. It says, I would say, this is what he says. Jimmy got a little aggressive, I would say, and he improvised a few things, like that little billy club he threw at me when I came off the stoop. He hit me right in the head with that. And then he throws me over the railing and he's biting my hands. When I crawl out, he literally lifted me up with his kick. None of that was supposed to happen. And then it said that he suffered 2 broken ribs.
Wow.
So he really beat the crap out of him, for real.
Wow.
That's insane. Okay, so the next, huh?
Oh no, in my head, I'm like, how can you continue to work with somebody that just did that?
I know. But in the show, the guy was like, I just got my A kicked by James Caan. Like he was so
exactly.
Like he was so excited and happy about it. Like, really? Calm down, guy.
Look at this. Checked off.
So the next one is, and this is probably real easy.
Okay.
Was the friendship between Joe Colombo and Al real?
Yeah, I believe that is fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you even when, like you said, when you watch like the after the show, you hear Al Ruddy saying how much he really he enjoyed his friendship and stuff like that. They really got close. So that was a little surprising to me, and I thought that was a cool fact. As far as him going to dinner, I don't know. And here's one thing that remember when Al got fired because he was seen at the press conference for Colombo. Yes. So that is true. But when Betty went down there to tell Joe about that, they don't have no proof of that.
Okay.
That he had anything to do with getting Al his job back. But I kind of feel like there's a lot of things that if it has to do with the mob, they wouldn't say it. He's probably sworn to like keep your mouth shut. Exactly. Remember when Caesar was telling him that there's a line. That's what I loved about Caesar, because he warned Al, like, there's a line that you cross, and if you cross that line, you're not gonna be able to come back. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it was like that. And then and then what did Al say? I feel like I already crossed that line, like especially when he had Caesar kind of like put the man in the closet at the restaurant.
Yes.
I wanted to fact check that, and I didn't get a chance to.
Okay. That would have been a cool one too.
Yes, I wanted to fact check that so bad. Man, oh man. So here's the next one, guys. Cat on the set. What do you think this is? Fact or fiction?
Oh, God. I feel like it's gonna. I want to say fact, but it may be fiction. I know there was a real cat, of course, in the movie, but in terms of like how it came about,
right?
A stray cat. Mm-hmm. I would say fiction.
Okay, the results are fact. Monique, you bad. She said Caesar could get the dress. Remember last night we were talking about that? Got the dress.
Oh yes.
He could get the joy. He was cute though. Oh my gosh, he was cute. And he got her that watch. He was like, don't wear it in Miami. I was like, what kind of gift?
I was like, what is this?
He gave her a Rolex and was like, just don't wear it in Miami. What does that even mean? What did you do?
Talk about terms and conditions.
Yes. Oh, he was so cute though. He really liked her. And the thing that I loved about him was that he understood. You know what I'm saying? He understood why because even when he said it, he just automatically was like, I know. I know, but I had to try,
Yeah.
So the cat coming on the set was just another thing that was just like, we just gonna capture this because Marlon is Marlon. And he just be doing whatever the heck he want to do. It's very Devo-ish.
Yeah.
Didn't know that my guy was a Devo. And that's just what it is. So now we're gonna go to the last one is the Joe Gallo death. Now his whole presence was fiction. Like he's a real person, but to come down and try to be involved in the movie and say I'm taking over all of that was dramatized. So I've read. Okay. And the whole thing with the circumstances surrounding his death, they tried to make it seem like it was because of revenge for Colombo, but he died, I think, after the production of the movie. And here he died before, like during the filming, but he actually died after. But the fact about his death is that he did die on his birthday. That's the fact.
That's sad.
Yeah. I mean, he was a horrible guy, so I don't mean
Yeah.
to say it like that. Isn't that that's not nice? I'm sorry, but
I could believe it was fiction. I mean, I don't know how you know how the mob is. They're very serious about their own culture. But the fact that
mm-hmm.
he had a bunch of goons from Harlem, like I love that part.
Yes. And they was mad at him for that too. Like you're working with the blacks. They was pissed off about that. Was that guy supposed to be Nicky Barnes?
It looked like him, like as a casting. I'm like, but
Yeah,
he
I'm
called
like,
him a different name. I can't
I
remember
was waiting for them to say that was Nikki, but they
too.
never did. And I was like, let me find out this is freaking Nicky Barnes. What the heck is going on? But
I
they
was like,
never
what's
said
wrong?
anything.
Yeah, I could have sworn it was going to be like a real gangster that they
Yes,
depicted.
they didn't, but he was really using them to do hits
Yeah.
and everything. I'm like, wow. He was something else, but I like how Caesar handled him. Like, don't worry. Then he came to that little dinner party or something like that, and he said to to Al, he said, your little Joe Gallo problem, you don't have to worry about him no more. He knew exactly what the heck he meant.
No, I had a
Well,
I have a
Monique said
couple.
it's not okay.
I
Huh?
had a couple situations, but this one situation where I was in Brooklyn, and me and my husband went because I had to get a tiara from my wedding. I found this girl on Instagram, and it was a company on Instagram. So when we went to New York, I went to shop for my tiara, and it was in Brooklyn, and we had to walk a little ways, to get to our Uber, and we literally had a situation where we saw some dudes like in front of a Italian spot, and they legit look like Sopranos, like House Satrials, like, and they was looking at us like, excuse me, like how they used to like play us like, like who are these moolies over here?
Yeah.
Like they looking at us like, me and my husband like, where's this Uber? Like what's going on?
Get out of here, please.
But they had on like the sweats. They were like heavy set. They was on like the little chair. Like it really like I felt like I was in the time warp. Like I was like, we
my
get out of here.
Yes, child. Thank you, Monique, for the super sticker. Appreciate you, girl. And thank you so much for all your comments and stuff. All right. So we're about to wrap it up, but that was it for the fact versus fiction. And as we get to our final points, guys, so I want to talk about this part really, really quickly.
Oh gosh, I'm nervous.
Because I don't know if Monique, I forgot who brought it up, but one of y'all brought it up, and here it is. It says Barry Lapidus. I mean, Lapidus turns into a good guy. Do y'all remember the scene where they was at the party and Betty was drunk? Now she knows this guy is a jerk and a half, right?
Yes.
And she kept calling him Lapidus.
Yeah, she was on her Beyonce. I've been drinking.
She was like, Lapidus, right? Lapidus. I was like, leave him alone. And then it was like he removed her from the situation.
Yes.
And then she tried to go. And he was like, you better stay away from Barry. Leave him alone. And
I was like, please don't say nothing. I was nervous. Like I was on the set too. Like, please do not. You can't mess this up.
But the crazy thing about it is, as somebody already pointed out, that Blue Dawn is sweet on her. So ain't nothing was going to happen to Betty.
That's true.
Nothing was good because he was over there laughing. You saw him laughing like he was smirking, laughing at that joke like, oh, well, Betty got you. But the point that I like about this whole thing is that he had to come to realize when he tried to take over, he had to come to realize that, yeah, I'm good with the numbers, but I don't have half the talent as Bob. And the thing that I liked about him was that he was honest with himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good in my area when it comes to the marketing and the numbers and this and that. But when it comes to all the talent and this, I'm not. That's just not me. So there was another thing that I wanted to say. I think there was a situation. Remember when he was trying to do this little marketing thing where they wanted to do like the cover for the film, and
that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, he was choosing all this crazy stuff, and then out of nowhere, because Bob's wife had left him, cheating on him and all that stuff. So he was depressed and stinking and funky and staying home and all this stuff.
Yes.
And I was checking up on him like, what are you doing? Like, you need to come back out or whatever. So then he shows up at the right time. And he was like, this is not good. That's not good. You need to use the same cover that the book has.
Yeah.
People like mystery and all of this stuff. And Barry is like, well, it's about people, nobody wants to see this, and that. And he's like, I don't make films for people with, to give them what they want.
Yes.
They don't even know what the heck they want until I give it to them.
Yes.
Basically.
One of his lines, he was like, I want to create an experience. That's what because it's just so cool to see how they were so against a lot of things. Like, this movie is too long. We got to cut it 30 minutes. And it was fighting hard for that and going to Sicily and all these hurdles they had to jump over that it was able to get done. But it's just so cool to see, all the behind the scenes about, all the just the ups and downs of the film.
All right. Absolutely. So now we got to get to our final stuff. So the finale. Okay. So in the finale, you look it up. We got the dream team right here. The dream team. And, in this finale, Bob Evans, like I was talking about, him and Barry, they did a 360 in the relationship. And then we also have, this is a real, photo. This is a real photo of Francis Coppola doing his thing. And then remember when they were saying that,
Brando.
Marlon Brando, he does not remember his lines. He doesn't rehearse his lines. This is real. As he let me show you the scene. Oh gosh, hold on. See, the scene that I just showed you earlier with him and him talking to Al Pacino in that scene, and I think he was saying, I never wanted this for you and everything like that. And this scene right here, this scene right here is when he was reading off of that little board. Yes. And I was like, wow, this is freaking amazing. So that is definitely true. And I thought that would be a nice little thing to show. Yeah. So, so we at the premiere and his wife leaves him, but she winds up showing up for him one last time. And I thought that was really nice. And I don't know if you wanted to say anything else about that, but
no, I was like, like when he was mentioning like McQueen, I was like, Steve McQueen. So I had to call Google again, like, Google, where you at? So I was Googling, like, she did actually marry Steve McQueen afterwards.
Wow.
And, it was the whole, I was like, I just get so involved in the real stuff. So I was like, oh my God, I need to. So I had to put my phone down because I was like, I'm getting too in depth because how like they suggest other people. I mean, you go into their life. I'm like, see, I need to stop. But it's just cool to see like how, the behind the scenes was in terms of, the movie depicting real life.
Yes, and she actually served him the divorce papers. I felt bad, but I was but I'm glad that he didn't go back into his hole though. He took it.
Yes, I was scared.
And he continued. He said, I'm gonna just continue on. And he showed up. And you know what I loved in this picture right here? Remember, he was on the plane with Al, and he said, I keep having this dream about the premiere, and I got Allie on one side, and I got Kissinger on the left, and it's the night. What does he said? It's a dream, or it's the night of my dreams, or something like that. He said, and that's exactly what happened. They both showed up. And I was like, oh, I love that. And I wonder if that's something that really happened. I just thought that was so cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. So now we got Al Ruddy. He writes a script. But he wants to get started on it right away. But because of all the buzz, they're like, listen, we could Godfather Part 2. We need to start working on that. We don't got time for you to be working on your stuff. So, and Bob is saying you need to hold off on that. But even with all the success of, the movie, the premiere went great, everything. And even him, I remember, look, this scene right here, he wanted to leave. And she said, I leave to the last one. He said, oh, this is the cabaret night. This is all about the cabaret. So, and then he won. So that was amazing.
Yes.
Remember I told you, he was like, oh, I'm almost emotional. I said, wait till you get to the final. It was just this part right here. And how they,
No, I was like, what are you doing? You can't leave. Like, what are you doing? Like, and that was interesting to watch.
Yeah. Canada says, was the real Coppola a part of this series? You mean, well, there was the actor, there was somebody that played him. And yes, he really was friends. He really was involved and all of that, because the mob was trying to shut this movie down. They was threatening this man's life. He had to sit down with Coppola to get the okay to do the movie, as long as he didn't put mafia in it. They didn't want no mafia in there. Yep. Very, very good.
That's my most shocking moment. Like revelation of this whole thing. I'm like, the mom was really involved in this. Like, yeah, I did not know at all.
Yep. And so, and that's the crazy part about it. That's why it was so interesting too, because it's a mob movie, and then the mob got involved. Like, no, y'all not. Like, I mean, come on, you ain't gonna get in trouble. You ain't dropping no names. But you know what? You know what? I think I know why, because I've never read the book. In the book, he drops real names. He dropping names of real people, Mazzaria,
Really?
Al Capone, like all of those. He's dropping real names. So I think that's why they got involved, because if it's fiction, it's like, why the heck do y'all care? But he was dropping some real serious hitters, and it was like, yeah. So I get it. I just realized that. So yeah, he had to follow his heart. Even after this wonderful, great moment, it was like he just had to follow his heart. And then he tells what's his name? Bob, he just can't do it. Like, he has to work on it. Come to find out, guys, the movie was The Longest Yard, which went on to win like a Golden Globe or something like that. So that's pretty excellent. It's pretty excellent. But I think that, and then he also opened up like an agency for Betty, which was really nice. They really became like a family. He paid 2 years for the rent and all that stuff, and that was just amazing. So Monique said, what touched my heart is when Ruddy invests in Betty. Yeah, I just said that. Yep, Betty in her dreams. Yep. Investing in Betty's dreams, and paid for her office space. It brought tears to my eyes. Yes, it was really, it was a very this whole thing was touching. It was good. Like you said, it just brings you in like, oh, this is good. The popcorn moments, the emotional moments, and just like, you can't stand certain people, and like, so then we have the end where they started to tell you some stuff about some of the people, and she went on to represent George Clooney. I don't know why the thing is cut off. I really don't understand that. She went on to represent George Clooney, Anthony Quinn, Tom Selleck, all those people, and she worked with them until she was 81. So like I told you, this woman had an eye for talent.
She reminded me of Goldie Hawn a little bit. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, right there, right? Go girl. I love Goldie Hawn. See that this picture was not like that, guys. It was here. See, here goes your answer, Canna. This is the real Joe Colombo, but he was played by Ribisi. I know Giovanni Ribisi. And yeah. So there he
did
is.
An awesome job with that too.
Yes, he did, and he had the voice and everything.
Yes. He was like, the Jews got the JBL, the black people got the NAACP. What is our stuff? Like, we going to go ahead and create something. I was like, wow.
Yes, he was trying to create something for the Italians. They wanted to get rid of that as well. And that's when they put that little hit on him. I want to know why they really put the hit on him. I don't know if it had to do with the movie, this and that, but I don't know.
From the movie, it doesn't seem like they really ever really liked him. Even from that first scene when I believe his first scene when he was having lunch. I can't remember the other gentleman's name, but he allowed the guy to kind of forego paying the interest because he had a sick son. And so he was telling him, like, you can't do that. Like, no, you can't let everybody get passes like that. So, I think they never really, he didn't really play by the rules all the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Monique said Jerome Johnson kills him. Yeah, the funny thing with him is that he did not die until years later.
Yeah.
Yeah. He died, he became paralyzed. And then I think he died I think they said 7 years or something like that, which is really crazy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but they still do tie it into him being shot. They still tie that into it. Yep. Because that was the reason why he, he's pretty much died, succumbed to, I guess, the injuries and stuff like that. Yeah. So, but, and then we have Robert Ruddy. I'm sorry, I keep saying Robert. I don't know why. Al Ruddy. And like I said, in 1974, he won the Golden Globe Award for Best Motion Picture. Isn't that great?
That's awesome. I love when As soon as he
Huh?
said football movie and Burt Reynolds, I already knew what the movie was. But
Yeah.
I love the scene at the end, towards the end, when he went to go after the award show. He went to go see Columbo in the hospital, and was kind of
Oh,
like, that was like, oh,
I know. Remember he was saying I'll set up like a time for you to watch it and stuff like that. I wonder if they ever got to do that.
no,
Oh.
I know.
But that was that, guys. I enjoyed this live, first of all, and I enjoyed the series. And I really thank you very much for joining me, girl. Because
Wow.
as you can see, nobody freaking was really watching it. But y'all, listen, Monique, you up in here, you was watching it, girl.
Yes,
And Tamika, that's what's up. Karen is in the middle of it. Go ahead and finish it, Karen. It's awesome. So Monique said Ruddy is still kicking and looking good for his age. Yup. You know,
yes,
a lot of them are still kicking. I'm like, yo, these people are still living. That's what's up. Shoot.
exactly.
As old, as they are, which
Because
is
this one's
great.
early
They still
70s.
kicking. Yeah, and some in the 70s, in the 90s, in the 80s. I'm like, whoo, yeah, that's a blessing. Shoot.
Yes.
All the people from The Godfather are like almost in the 90s. I think uh Robert Duvall is 92 or something like that. And Al Pacino was in his 80s. So I'm like, yo, yeah, just kicking. That's what's up. I love it.
Yes.
But anyway, we about to get out of here, guys. I see we getting down. I think people are leaving us because Lamont probably went live. I think he went live at 9.
Okay.
Yeah. Kenna says, if I was Russo, I would have set up an old boy with a
Oh gosh.
he got his behind whooped, Kenna. Okay, and I don't know why he did. I guess maybe he didn't fight back because he wasn't supposed to in the script. He was supposed to just get beat up,
That's true.
but he got beat up. I'm sorry, you got it. At some point, you probably need to realize that somebody is really whooping your behind
Yeah,
in
right.
a on the set.
Like,
Like,
we're not
what
acting.
is going on? We about to go in. We about to get it in on the set. You are
Like,
not about to be doing this.
no, we're supposed to be acting. Like, no.
Right.
Fake punches, not real ones.
Unbelievable. I heard Oprah really hit what's the guy's
Oh
name?
yeah. I can't
Yeah,
remember that.
he said she really smacked the crap out of him and the butler.
Yeah, I've
Shoot.
heard of a few situations where actors, slap people for real, but with permission.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that happened.
Oh,
Oh,
let me
Lord.
get this idiot up out of here. I didn't even mean to do that. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging in with us. And this moron is back again. Ugh, get your behind out of here. Thank you, Kenna, for coming through. I really appreciate you, Monique and Karen Jones. And I know a lot of people, they left already. Tamika, thank you guys so much. And Savannah, I think Savannah's gone. Samara, I appreciate all of you guys. You guys have a wonderful, blessed week. Happy Juneteenth. I don't know what y'all gonna do. I mean, get your kente cloth out. Do a little cute picnic.
I had mine on yesterday.
I did notice that. I was like, "What she? That's cute." But I wanted, I was trying to figure out what was the whole thing, and I didn't even register.
I had it in my closet. I was like, "Oh, let me wear this. Celebrate."
Yes, that's so cute. All right, guys. Thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful, blessed day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.